was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, won't be no good man's wife. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. So I woke up, sun in my eyes, forgot all about what I did last night. What I do remember that it was real, real nice. Talks about me are never good. I don't live like the way that I should. Oh well, I'm in for some fun tonight. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Hey now, just you and I, we could be the next Bonnie and Clyde. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Oh, it's our time to rise up. Live the life we're proud of. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Hey now, just you and I, we could be the next Bonnie and Clyde. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Oh, it's our time to rise up. Live the life we're proud of.
It.
Hey everybody, welcome. We are here. I'm Josh. This is Jarrod.
Hello.
How you doing? So we're just in the middle of a conversation, and all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
whoa! I'm looking at my. I think I'm just really that red today. I think I'm really feeling hot.
It must be bouncing off your shirt a little too.
It might be, because this is a nice red shirt that you can get at joshuaverwers.com. Shameless plug.
Well played. I'm a Skype gray today. Looks like I'm going to be a pixelated Skype gray.
No, I think I've got you pretty good on my end. I think it's just on your end you're seeing.
Just on my end?
Yeah.
Hey, as long as you guys are happy, I'm happy.
We're happy. I'm happy. Hey, I think before we actually get rolling and into the discussion, I think it's time for us to roll that beautiful bean footage.
Man.
Welcome to the Vlogpastors Podcast, a podcast all about the stories and strategies of sharing God's love in the digital world. Now, here are two pastors that love to put a camera in their face and walk around in public. They are the kid and play of digital ministry, Jarrod Brown and Joshua Verwers.
Of course we have an 80s theme going on. Why? Because the 80s was the greatest decade ever. It brought you the Vlogpastors.
That's so true.
So,
That's true.
hi, everybody. I am Joshua Verwers. This lovely gent over here to my right is the one and only Jarrod Brown. If you're listening to this in audio fashion, you're like, the gentleman on the right, what is he talking about? Because I'm
You need to
hearing
hop on
you
the YouTube
both.
train.
That's right. Hop on YouTube. Catch over here. YouTube.com/Joshua Verwers. Thursday, it is about 10:30 a.m. We are live streaming. And that's what we're doing today. And we have got Jason Remster joining us live, as well as, I believe this is Joshua Putnam. And he says, I think I might have a problem. iPad on and waiting. I guess I have gotten used to listening to you guys while studying for Sunday. That is amazing. I think we are wonderful listening
Steady material.
Yeah, there you go. I think it's
Maybe.
great. So anyways, this is
You need to
vlog.
hop on YouTube so you can catch all of the the innuendos and the shaking of the heads and the nuances of our conversation, man. So if you're listening to this via podcast alone, you need to
Yes.
hop on over.
Yes.
You're gonna miss out on all the Joshua funny faces and the
The funny faces. Genevieve is saying that you are on her left. Well, of course he's on your left, but it's my right from where I'm sitting. This is my right hand. Jarrod is right there.
I'm sitting on the right side
He's right there. Yeah, he's correct.
at the right hand of the Joshua.
That is amazing. Hey, did we say that this is episode 19 of the Vlogpastors podcast?
Oh, dude, we're racking them out.
I know. It is awesome. And Genevieve is asking what's wrong with my face. It's red. It's bouncing off this beautiful shirt. That's what it is. Andy McMillan saying that he is also here. It's kind of hard to hear you guys over how loud Josh's shirt is.
Oh, hey, that's a
Boom.
beautiful shirt. You
And
can
it's
pull that
comfy.
off. I can't pull it. I love that color. I would love to be able to wear that shirt, but I have a natural, my wife calls it salmon hue to my skin, and I'll allow it because it's salmon and it's not red. I have a natural red hue, so whenever I
Yeah.
put on a shirt like that, I'm glowing.
I
Solid
typically
red.
am too. It's the Irish in me that comes out, and all of a sudden it's like red typically isn't as flattering. Green does work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But like the last time that I had a red shirt was probably early 2000s. And as I'm looking at this and seeing how red my face looks in comparison, I'm starting to realize why it was early 2000s the last time I had a red shirt.
I know, but how come we red guys, we want it to work? We're like, red shirt, yes, this is gonna happen.
Because we're so used to looking at our, I don't know, red beards, and
I
it's
guess
like, we've got to. We've got to. Andy knows what I'm talking about. Wait, like a Mustang. Oh, candy apple red. That's what it was. Candy apple red, like a Mustang.
That's hey.
You know, when you read these comments out of order, all of a sudden I'm like a Mustang? What is he saying? I have no idea. No.
I remember Andy. He's got his jabs in. Come on.
Andy has loads of jabs in. Andy has been longtime friends with Jason Mayfield, which should explain
okay.
everything.
Say no more. Say no more. I got you.
So, yeah, it's awesome. Which, hey, I'm just saying, I think I was over on Instagram shortly after, maybe it was the next day after I uploaded the last, of the Vlogpastors season 3 videos. It was the lightning round, redo or whatever we called it.
Which was hilarious. Yeah.
Hilarious. It was absolutely amazing. And then the best part was everybody's response, all the other 5 pastors, because they had no clue what we did.
No clue. Feel bad.
None until we
Little
dropped
bit.
it. And then
Yeah.
we threw in a little Jason Mayfield jab on top of it. And his reaction on Instagram, he just called us idiots. It was like,
Okay, so he was just commenting towards the skinny jeans. I'm sure of it.
no,
I'm sure of it. No, because that was the part that included Jason Mayfield. So I can guarantee you the rest of it out. That part addressed.
Probably. However, that being said, just the fact that he called me an idiot, I loved it. I thought, you know what? That was worth the price of admission alone. Just to go onto Instagram, check his Instagram stories, and see that there is my face with
That's
the
true.
word idiots underneath it. I'm like,
That's true.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Please.
Yep. So mom said I wore that shirt the other day and she didn't notice my red face. Well,
Must be a camera thing then.
it might be. I mean, Sony's are kind of a slightly notorious for going just a little bit more on the magenta side. Which, I mean, I could play with it, but white balance is already set. I ain't messing with it anymore. It's good enough. Good enough. Anywho.
You're close, man. You're in the minutia of it all.
Yeah, exactly. Because I actually was playing with it. I was trying to dial in just a little bit more. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I wonder.
Now, the biggest jump was whenever your back wall was kind of like a like a washed out green gray,
Yeah.
and then you adjusted the white balance, and you can see, oh my, it's like a teal. It's a blue.
Yeah.
There's color back there.
There is color back there, and it varies from where I set it, because I keep doing the white balance, but then what happens is, what happens is I wound up messing with the camera settings. And so I'm messing with the camera settings because of different setups. So I've got, this angle here where I'm kind of setting and you guys are seeing the corner, and then I spin the desk this way, and then all you see is that wall, and then I spin it that way, and then it's just the white wall behind. And because of those multiple setups, I have to re-white balance because the lights are different and some's a little bit brighter and then it's dimmer. And
did you guys live stream this weekend on WrestleFam?
On WrestleFam, we live streamed on Sunday. It was WWE Payback. And then I think we're planning on Saturday is AEW's All Out pay-per-view. So we'll be doing that. We decided that like the week prior, there were
you guys went hard. 2
pay-per-views and then Raw right afterwards, and we did 3 in a row, and I'm like, I was tapping out. I was like, no. 3 days of 3-hour live streams, way too much for this guy. And we were in the 3rd hour on Monday. And actually, I think it was going to be 4 hours or something like that. It just kept going, and I turned and looked at Logan, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I was like, did y'all just end it? Or? Yeah. So I was like, all right, guys, I got to get up in the morning. I'm done. We'll see you later. And then I just hit end on the live stream. I was like, I'm tapping out. I was just that beat. So it was.
Dude, that's a lot.
It was. And we do that a lot on, and this will get into even our conversation here today. I do a lot of let's just try something, because I tend to overthink things, and I've found an enjoyable place of, I got an idea, I'm just going to wing it. Let's see if it happens. Yeah. And I'll learn. I guarantee it won't be successful right out the gate, but it's going to be something. And then I will learn how to improve that.
It's definitely something.
So that's what we did. We just came out and we're like, we're going to do something. And here you go.
So thinking in the future, throttling it back to 1, maybe 2 times a week or weekend?
Yeah, I think what we're looking at is we're only going to do live streams on pay-per-views, which happen once or twice a month. And then if there's some type of a big news in the wrestling world that we feel like we need to come and give some commentary on. So we'll do that for live streaming. But Logan and I are going to start, and I got to start training him on some video editing really fast. So what we're going to be trying to do is a weekly recap show as well. And so that'll be fully edited and short, condensed of basically here were the highlights. And we'll do that. And then some other stuff throughout. We'll probably do some more commentary videos, but it's going to be on a match itself as it's going, which there will be some commentary videos of my matches, which will be great because a lot of my old matches had no commentary on them in the first place. I think I've only got 5 videos or 5 matches that maybe 10 matches that have commentary on them. And it's because I decided back then I wanted to sell merch. So I was creating a DVD and I paid somebody to edit everything for me and then add in color commentary on top of it. And that was too big of a project, but it was fun.
It sounds like it.
Yep. So that is that. I think my wife and Andy are talking about, I don't know, my laundry and stuff like that. Ooh, speaking of laundry, hey, this is just a random thing. Guess what we're getting hopefully today?
Come on, new washer, new dryer or something.
New washer, new dryer.
Both.
Both.
Do you have a power surge or just time for an upgrade?
No, it was time to upgrade. I think when we got them, maybe they've been around for 3 or 4 years, and they work great, but they're front loads, and front loads tend to have an issue with some of the seals on it.
Sure. And
the really thin, delicate garments that we have been chewed up. And I bought 2 Buck Mason shirts. And if you know anything about Buck Mason shirts, they're $30-$40 for a t-shirt. Just plain. One t-shirt. Plain. Nothing on it. And I bought this one that was just plain. And this one was super thin, delicate, and I think I wore it twice, and then the washing machine chewed it up. And I mean, like, holes all over, and it was like, And of course, Genevieve was probably more upset that I spent that much money on a T-shirt. But I didn't even get the use out of it.
We've got the washer that is like the shoes not wearing out, for Israel type of thing. It was given to us 10 years ago. I don't know, maybe that's too long ago, but it just won't stop, man.
Yeah.
That thing is a workhorse. Same what you're talking about. They said there was a faulty deal in that model with the seals, and they wear out pretty easily. Nope, runs like a champ.
Yep, I love those that do it, but
get winner.
Yeah, I was up in Des Moines. I don't remember. Oh, she wanted to go for a closet organizer because of the girls and their bedroom that used to be our bedroom, and tearing down the fireplace and building them this big walk-in closet. And we need closet organizers. So we went for a closet organizer, and I figured maybe I'm going to spend a couple $100s on this thing. And no, it was a lot more than that because we left with closet organizers and new washer and dryer. I mean, we didn't leave with it. I left with paying for it. But it's supposed to be there today. So that's what I've got going on, which is fun. And I have no idea why we were talking about that. Oh, it was Andy's fault. Andy's fault. He's the one that starts talking about laundry.
Yeah. See, that's the perk of being here for the YouTube. You get to direct the conversation.
Exactly. He gets to talk about leaky front loaders, which used to be my nickname, by the way. I don't know why I said that.
Hey, I like your style, man. Just throw it out there, try it. Speaking of throwing it out there and trying it, Vlogpaster post the season. Have you made any videos? We talked last week about starting a new channel, possibly.
So I've got scripts for like 4 videos on the new channel that are mostly done, and then I'm just wanting to get all 4 of them completely done. And then once I get those completely done, it's batch recording. And so I'll batch record those because I wanted to make sure I can at least drop 1 a week for a month before I actually do the official launch. Gotcha. Now, that being said, I keep buying all of this gear, and more tech and more stuff keeps showing up, and I need to stop. I'm not going to stop.
Is it? I know. Dude, it is hard once you get in a flow. I don't know whether it's a dopamine hit or what, but like you get in a flow of ordering a package and one coming in, and you open it and you use it, and it works out kind of like you wanted it to, but kind of not, because you need that other piece that's going to come in 2 days, and then you open it, you set it up, and dude, it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah. Well,
I had a marketing teacher that said Amazon is brilliant because it's like Christmas every couple of days over at her house. And I was like,
and there's a reason that guy is the richest man in the world. I mean, he's like, hey, I'm going to make sure that you get stuff in 2 days.
Buy.
It's insanity. And I mean, I've still got this stuff in the package. This is that Freewell magnetic quick swap ND system.
You need to hurry up and review because I need to buy one.
Yes, it's still in the box. But that is I'm hoping tomorrow I'll have everything kind of finished and be able to record it. And then that's going to be one of the first ones that's coming out, just because I'm so excited for that. Oh, hey, I just looked on this and it says 4K series. I don't know what that means. Focus.
Upcharge?
Probably. But so I bought all of that stuff, and then I was buying merch, and just before we went live, my new phone case came in. A couple days ago, my coffee mug came in.
There you go.
And we were talking, I think last week, maybe even the week before, about the Live by Faith hats that we were getting ordered. And I've got another one on the way because I found a couple different places that could fulfill them for me. And I'm trying to figure out if I want a drop fulfillment place to do that work for me, or if I want to go ahead and do it. And then, so it's trying to figure that out, but I'm so particular about the quality. So
yeah, fair enough.
Ordered this one, and if it shows up, and it's a slightly different material, like I've never had an auto snapback. So I don't know. It's apparently a fairly popular brand.
I don't even know what that is. What is? It's a brand.
Yeah, it's the brand of a hatback. So it's still a snapback, but like this one is a Yupong, which they make the classic snapback.
Yep.
And the one that I was going to use is a Yupong, but it's flex fit. And I really like the way that it sat. But there's no place out there that really does the fulfillment on those. And so what you have to do is you have to buy bulk and then send them to a place to do all the embroidery. And then I'm going to have to manually pack and ship them all. And that just sounds like a whole lot of work I don't want to do.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
hey, but
the thing is if I were to do that,
you can guarantee it.
I would be willing to do that if it was a limited edition run, and this is a short run, and there's never going to be any more. So it's kind of like I put in the work and I do all that stuff, and then I'm never doing it again.
Sure.
But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, we're going to have people that I'm looking at Andy's comments about the front load, and he's like, they make diapers for that. So I got to stop looking at comments.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about, like there are people that listen to this months down the road. And if they are and they find it and they're like, oh, I'd really like to catch one of those snapbacks. Well, sorry, they're all out. I'm not making any more. So then if I found some place that I could do like one-offs and drop shipment, that would be better. But is the hat going to fit my head? Because my head is the one that matters most.
Hats are such a tricky thing too, man.
That's
why I'm demanding that I don't buy like right now I'm on a hat lockdown because like you are with Amazon, that's how I am with hats sometimes. I'm like,
just keep buying them.
Yeah, there it is, that one. Because it looks good on somebody and I'll buy it up and it does not look good on me.
Yeah.
That's the majority of my hat. This is an interesting hat. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I'll show you a little bit.
Is that like a snapback trucker?
It is.
Ooh.
But check this out. It's like it doesn't go all the way up.
That's
the coloring
weird.
is right here. It's so unique. I had to have it. I had to have it.
Is that
because sometimes for me they stand a little tall, and this one still stands. This one still stands super tall for my taste, for what I'm used to, because 80s baby. But like they fixed it with the coloring.
Yep, that's
for me.
That's cool. I wouldn't have thought about doing that. What brand is that, by the way?
Lockdown.
Well, you got it there. Take a look. See. Is that a nice
Vietnam polyester.
Okay. Never heard of that one. Interesting. That's not going to help me at all.
No.
But I'm glad I asked. So anyways, so talking about things where we just... Oh, you found something else?
Richardson, right there in bold print.
It was on the other side. Yes. Oh, yes. And Genevieve is right. Look at this comment from her. She says she finds herself having an issue with coffee cups, not too many hats. Absolutely. Which, speaking of coffee cups, Genevieve, the floating coffee hand would be ready for something, but I'm not switching cameras, so you're going to have to be on film.
Jesse picked up an Ember. For those of you who know, you know. She picked up an Ember. So many controversial statements around that one that I won't even get into it, but man, if they just had by the pint Embers, we'd be in business. I would have one. It's just too small.
Yeah.
I think we'd be running nonstop.
Right.
But they're super nice.
Yeah, so. I'm more a fan of just bring the whole coffee pot in and hand it to me.
Yeah.
Which
Genevieve, Ember.
How many times have we done that or like you and I, we've been on just Skype or just a Zoom chat that we're doing. And I will typically have my French press or my Chemex setting right, or just, the pot. And it's it's got to be there. But anyhow.
Jessie is all about measurements and precision. And so when she pours the Chemex, it will hit both of our cups, different sizes, but right at the appropriate line, and no more, no less. I'm like, babe, make extra coffee because I'll drink it.
Yep.
No.
And for me,
precision.
And for me, the Chemex is 1 cup.
Oh, yeah. You have that giant one too.
I don't care that it says 8 cups on it. No, that's 1. That's 1.
That is 1 cup.
It is mine. But I do have a giant 1 cup too that is that big. Although Genevieve's is even larger than mine, so who knows? No, we were talking about
what is the topic for today? We should probably get into it.
Well, we keep bouncing around it, saying what's next for the Vlogpasters.
Yes.
And we were talking about how we just kind of wing things, and we just throw something out there and see what happens. And that was essentially Vlogpasters Season 3 was just winging it. So, see, there you
There
go.
it is.
I got
Come
you
on.
all
Come on. Hey, guys,
on
stand off the side.
full screen. Everybody sees.
No.
There you go. No, she says no.
She's like, nope, not happening.
Come on, put us up half screen so we can do it. Oh, she left. Bye.
She took off. Wait, is the dog still in here? She is. The dog's sitting behind me. You're probably going to see her run. There you go. So,
Duchess?
Yep, Dutch went running. No, Vlogpaster Season 3, we just kind of did what we did in Season 1 and Season 2, and we just wing it. Just throw something out there and let's see.
A hybrid, bringing other pastors into the mix and trying to make it as easy and low impact for them to hop on. And
yeah. And
what do you think?
Well, and that's where I'm kind of getting, because I think, like I talked about with, or what was I just talking about? Something that I just winged. Oh, the Wrestle Fam. And it's like, okay, so we did live streams 3 in a row. Nah, I'm not going to do that again. So, hey, 7 pastors for a month. Am I going to do that again? I don't know. And here's my thoughts. If it was all up to me, which it's not all up to me, because you and I are kind of in this together with this thing. And those that aren't you and I, they don't realize that they may look and say, okay, well, Josh is doing all of this. No, I'm running everything by you, and I'm asking you, and I'm getting your feedback, and are we going to do a season, and are we not going to do a season? And I don't think we've hit a moment yet where I'm like, well, hey, I'm doing this anyways. Right. Other than maybe for like season
Vlogmas,
4.
Yeah, like Vlogmas, you said, look, man, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
But
whether or not
I'm doing something. We're Vlogpasters, man.
Whether or not it's officially Vlogpasters or not, because I did Vlogmas 2 years ago, but that was just by me. We didn't do Vlogpasters until the next April. But when it comes to, we had all these different pastors in here, and there was something missing. That it was the interweaving connection for me was just something that was missing. That's not to say that this was a bad season, because I think this was a great season. I think it was fun. I think the videos, the topics, the discussion that was there, and getting that many perspectives was so unique. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad we did that.
Agreed.
But we do something and we try it, and then we kind of have to step back and then reevaluate. And for me, there was just that little bit of the first 2 seasons, primarily because it was just you and I, we were back and forth and back and forth. Now that required a lot of pressure on us and a lot of work.
Right.
But we wanted to go in this one a little bit easier on us and a little bit lighter when we're trying to bring the other guys in. Mm-hmm. And the other hard part for me is, I mean, I've got so many pastors that have reached out asking to be a part of it. And then it's like, well, you've got to draw the line somewhere. And so do we invite one other person? And if so, who do we pick? Who do we say, you're the one? You know, and then it's like, or do we bring 2 or 3 or what? And that was just, I mean, hey, God gave us 7 days, so it made it kind of simple for me. You know, it was like, at that point, that's where I was at. But in doing that, there's so many working pieces that we then had to try to figure out, okay, there's going to do that and to add all the extra, something is going to sacrifice. And we didn't know what it was.
Yeah. And that's what I'm still working through on my end, from my perspective, is I loved having 7 pastors, 7 vlog pastors. That was fun. That element I would keep. I love the guys. I love all that was going on with that. What I don't like is the logistical side. I don't feel like we brought our previous audience enough this time around. I think it was a little too disjointed, and this was a logistical issue, not a personality issue.
Correct.
For the most part. I don't know. You know, some people like certain people, and they can either skip a day or whatever. Yeah. But it just wasn't quite as free flowing. And I think that's where in season 4 we're going to really need to lock down and figure out how to, no matter who's a part of it, how to make sure that everything is cross-pollinated and just clicking. Yep. Like it has been in the past, where like you're going to see the other person in your video, and we're constantly sending over different clips and things and talking behind the scenes back and forth with one another at a greater level than we were able to do in season 3. And again, like I said, that's nothing against these guys. That was a whole, 5 new guys to the show who we hardly know one another.
Yeah.
Most of us know one another through you or through one another, and it's like, we did our best.
Yeah, and I think it came out well. I think we pulled it off well. I liked it, like I said. But it was, part of it was a logistical nightmare. We had a couple of the guys that they had mentioned. I think Clint was one of them early on that, missed the calendar that I had given him. So here I am uploading on a Sunday, and he's like, would have been
Poor
nice
Clint.
to know I was supposed to record my Sunday while I was still at church.
Same thing he did.
Yeah.
I saw the dates, and smashed in between the dates on this giant calendar are the questions. And so for the first, I think, week, or the first week or two, if not two, I'm just reacting to what everybody else is doing, kind of a thing. And then it's like, oh, it's on the calendar. I was getting ready to email you and be like, dude, what are we doing? It's on the calendar. So I feel him on that one. He did a great job.
Yep. And then we had, like you may have noticed, I think it was the last week, that Dennis and Clint switched days. And so Clint was making up for not recording in advance. Dennis had some issues come up, and he wasn't going to be able to make his deadline. So Clint was able to jump in and fill that in. And
see, that's the stuff, though. That's exactly what we're talking about. Is the coordination that we got to do behind the scenes for the first 2 seasons of, dude, I'm not going to be able to make it, and then you or me or whoever, vice versa, hopping on at 12 o'clock at night, going, what do you need to get through? What do we need to get this thing smashed out?
Yep.
Okay, here's where I am. You want me to send you a piece? Do you need something?
Yeah.
That whole thing. I think we had that, like you said, once this season where somebody wasn't able to do it and somebody else stepped up. It's like, bro, I got you.
Yep.
We need a lot of those.
Yeah, and it wasn't just on those guys. I mean, you look at like the final episode. So going into this, Jarrod and I had thought, here I was going to kick things off with the first 2 days because it started on a Saturday, but we wanted to do the 4 weeks, so Sunday through Saturday. So I did the first introductory video on Saturday, did the first question on Sunday, and then there were going to be 2 leftover days at the end, another Sunday and Monday. And the plan was I was going to upload the lightning round on Sunday, and then on Monday we would try to do a live stream with everybody.
Right.
Well, that was me dropping the ball because things got so crazy and so hectic that all of a sudden here it is, I think on Tuesday, and then I finally sent everybody their videos, for their questions. And it might have been even Wednesday. And I think I got one back on 1 or 2 on Thursday, a couple on Friday. And then I think Trey got me his Sunday afternoon because I got it to him so late and they were on a mini vacation. So he was out of pocket and wasn't going to be able to until he got back. And then after church on Sunday, which was fine. But then that meant, okay, I didn't get it on Sunday. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it fully uploaded on Monday because then once we had all the questions, you and I have to come together and then look at their answers, redo all the questions, and then we have to stream, and you've got stuff going on as well. It was just kind of crazy and hectic. And unfortunately, it's like anything you do, the more variables you add, the more opportunity there is for something to go wrong. Sure. And I know some of this comes out where I'm even hearing it as it comes out of my mouth, and it's like, okay, so there was a lot that was going wrong. No, there was a few things that went wrong. And then for an analytical perspective, we've got to sit there and say what went wrong, and then how do we fix that going forward?
Sure.
So, I mean, we want to keep the good stuff, obviously, too.
Exactly. I think at the end of season 2.5 or 2.1 or whatever it was that we did, 2 point something.
The Vegas one.
The Vegas one, we had a lot of fun. That was very simplistic, and we wanted to add to it. We knew that from season 2, it's from season 2.5, we wanted to bring other people's perspective into it, other vlog pastors' perspective, and build. Then at the end of season 3, I think I can say that instead of building and ramping it up and more, I think it might be a good time to throttle back and go back to the core basics of what makes vlog pastors. My opinion, we hadn't fully hashed it out. Draw back a little bit, refine some of those points, and then build from there.
Well,
I'm thinking the same thing.
And what would you say, based on that, what would you say is the thing that makes vlogpasters vlogpasters? That's right. I'm putting you on the spot.
What keeps keeps coming up, what we keep hammering out is this. It's the behind the scenes. And this happens to be a conversation in front of a bunch of folks who are going to hop on and watch it.
Yeah.
But it's really this. It's going, what worked, what didn't, what worked, what didn't, what worked, what didn't, and that constant course correction that makes a show, that makes something cohesive, one cohesive unit. This particular season was very scattered. It's like, here's your assignment. It's over on that channel. Possibly it gets pushed back and forth around, and we kind of pivot a little bit, but they're just so huge. Like, by the time, let's just pick somebody, Dennis Strait. Let's do Clint. Clint posts his video. A week will have gone by before we can react or respond or really incorporate it into the whole, or before he can respond. With the back and forth firing between the two of us, whenever we've had it in previous seasons, I mean, it's tomorrow, it's tonight, or we're on the phone saying, like, there's a couple of times where you incorporated me into the videos where you're like, I'm going to call you. Don't script anything, but I'm going to call you. It will be recorded. Prepare thyself, because here it is.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, just that constant.
Yes. And that's that connection. Clint's actually jumping here in the chat, and he says he completely agrees. He thought this season was great, but the videos between all of us felt disjointed. And that's the thing. It was like we had 28 standalone videos.
Yeah. With
a couple of them that overlapped slightly.
All of them awesome.
All of them awesome. Yeah, there was 28 great videos. I loved watching them. There wasn't a single one that I looked at and I was like, man, that's a giant great turd topics, right there.
Exactly. Great topics, great execution, all around great. Yeah. It just from the perspective of the audience. And I mean, anybody who's in the comments right now, did you watch all 28 videos? Did you feel like they linked together? Did you feel like they were all part of one cohesive show and unit? Like you couldn't wait till tomorrow to find out what happened to the second part, the third part, the fourth part of the ongoing series? Or was it like you were traveling out of the universe to somebody else's house to find out what in the world are we doing today?
No.
Are you going to answer the question?
Yeah, it didn't feel like that to me. Like it didn't feel like they all went together like you and I've been able to do in the past. However, even that being said, like when we did the Vegas trip, that was different. It was connected because we were both there and we were in each other's videos. Mm-hmm. But they weren't playing off of one another. And I wonder if maybe that part of the disconnection is our bad, because we took that part from Vegas where it was a little more disconnected and thought we could make it work. And then that was the portion that just didn't work as well this time.
Sure.
Because it was, we still had the connection of us in there because we were there. So here I am, and I'm just vlogging, and you're right there, and I'm talking about you to everybody while you're standing right over my shoulder, and then vice versa. You're talking and you're trying to do a sign off, and I'm throwing my hat over your shoulder.
Well, we're also in the same environment trying to tell maybe different stories. They have different points to them, but there's so many common elements.
Yeah. And there was a lot of that because we were both in the exact same place. We were sleeping in the same room. We're at the same event. And so the only thing that was like on our own was like our lead in and then kind of the outro. And that was it. But everything else, it was still that similarity of here's what we're doing. And we were going out for the Grow with Video conference, but we were given our thoughts on all of that, which was just from our perspectives. So it was still the similar of the same theme, but different perspectives.
So how to make it work moving forward? I think somebody like Clint, the way that Clint tackled this season, he was experimenting on his own channel, the way that he likes, correct me if I'm wrong here, Clint, the way that you want to move forward in making videos and sharing your ministry and life online. So you were tackling a vlog challenge to find out, does this fit here? Does this fit with my audience? Do I like to make it? That sort of thing. So I think if we found somebody post this season, like post a month-long vlogging. Somebody
Mhm.
like Clint, who knows what they're getting into,
Right.
or at least would be willing to sign up for the haul, and then we could unapologetically say, "Look, this is a grind." Because I think
Yeah.
we tried to make it so genteel this time around with that many different pastors
Right.
and so unoffensive that we might have missed some of the punch you in the face, help each other up off the ground moments
Well, yeah,
that really
and I
kind of
think some
connect.
of that even comes again falling on. I'll take the blame for this one because I had told you I want to limit the questions, and I want us to give and distribute the questions because I wanted them to be questions that weren't going to be rough
Right,
and abrasive. Um,
right.
you and I, when we went into this, we had already, we've met each other, we've talked, we've built this relationship, back and forth where we're talking, we're texting, we're calling each other. And then we decided to do a month-long challenge, and we still didn't even know each other that well. And we basically had an agreement that you ask a question, you might get one back. And
Hmm.
so it was like, I think there was a little bit, at least from my end, of I don't want to drop a bomb of a question because there might be some retaliation. And hey, I deserve it, and I'm just going to have to take it. And so there was a little bit of maybe walking on some eggshells with that. And then it came to like season 2, and it was a little bit easier because in season 2, we were both answering the exact same question. It wasn't I answer yours and then I ask you one. It was I answer yours that you're answering on the same day, and then the next day we're both answering mine. And so there
Hmm.
was, this. Actually, I think I would say season 1 was kind of like this, where we kept crisscrossing the whole time. And then season 2 was more like this, where it
Yeah.
was just a little bit of a wind. And so there was more unison in that one. And then season 3 now is like popcorn. It's just going off all over the place. I don't know. That was kind of my thoughts. And I think if we do find, one of those pastors that is a Josh or a Jarrod that has done the dailies and understand what daily is and is willing to kind of take a little bit of a risk and say, hey, we're going to be answering some questions that I may or may not be comfortable with because I may or may not even know what the question is going into it.
Right.
But they're not going to be intentionally controversial. It's not like we're doing that. We're just going to talk about the things that we would normally be going up through. Some of them are even what the audience is asking and wanting to know. And then we just kind of go from there and we're all answering it. I think if we can find somebody that is willing to do that, that might work. But at the same
Yeah.
time, how can you do this when there are 7? I mean, that's because then I'm
Yeah.
sitting here and I'm thinking from the audience perspective too. Let's think about it this way. From an audience perspective, it's hard enough when it's 2 of us dropping the same video on the same day and saying, hey, we want you to spend 20 minutes of your day watching our vlogs. Now we're going to say, hey, we want you to devote an hour of your time every day to watching all of these vlogs.
Hmm.
If we think audience first, that's where. So these are some of the thoughts. I don't know what's next because we're kind of asking some of this. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. We're kicking around. Clint, if you're still in the chat, you're still watching the video. Would love to hear some of your thoughts on this because that was
Yep.
part of what we wanted to do at the end of kind of wrap up was get people on here and chat it through. But fire off, man. I'd
Which,
love to.
by the way, Clint, if you're around and you're at your computer and you want to hop on, I will figure out how to pull you into the live stream here in a little bit. So if you want to do that and just hop on with us, just let
No
me know.
pressure either
Give me
way.
a thumbs up, and we'll get you hooked up in Skype. I think I can figure that out without too much problem. He does have a couple comments that he's got here. He says, being able to use each other's content in our own video might have worked better than to link to each other's channels. Yeah, I think that would have been to be able to use that back and forth. And I think, Clint, you did some of it. I know Jarrod did some of it. I did a little bit of it. And I'm sure there were some others that did that I'm just not thinking of right now. But mostly what I was doing was sitting there and trying to just come in and say, like in
You're
season
hosting
1.
it.
What?
You're hosting it. You're saying,
Yeah.
here's the question for the week. Welcome to the channel. Here are the guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Try to go here, try to go there. And it was really hard. Just the linking alone was a little bit of a disconnect. And that's where I think Clint did a great job of, like, especially pulling in like the little clips of my video. But when I'm the one asking the question, or rather giving a commandment, it becomes a little bit trickier to sit there and say, well, how am I going to?
Sense of humor too. That was great.
It was awesome. But it's like, how am I going to be able to, if I'm Clint, incorporate Jarrod in this when Josh was the one asking the question?
And I ran into that trouble too, because I want to have everybody shown and highlighted in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But by the time you bring Dennis and Clint and Chase and Ken and Trey and everybody in, you've got like 30 seconds to answer the question yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's all the guys and here's what they said. Well, you're now on my video. Maybe you've already watched all of those guys and you just want to know what I have to say about the answer. Well, that's cute, and I'm glad that we connected. Like, what's the meat and taters? And you got 30 seconds, go. So that was kind of an issue that I found. Maybe just too many. Maybe too many. Again, we're just asking questions. We're kicking it around. I don't know. Maybe too many cooks in the kitchen. All, like I said, all good.
Correct.
All of them super talented, but I don't know how to hone that down a little bit and make it better. That, like you were saying, that cross-pollination bit without, and then as we're waiting on Clint to answer, without losing the spontaneity, because that's something that we go back and forth on all the time. If we scripted out all of these questions, we could make these videos months in advance, but you would lose the what did Clint say? Oh man, he answered it so good, and you want that to be live and in person as you're making your video that responds to it, so you can kind of bring that in. And there's ways you can do that, through editing and whatnot. You can make a majority of the film and whatever. But for me, I feel like it loses a little bit of pizzazz.
The spontaneity definitely does. It adds that extra element that I do enjoy. But again, it's in order to do that, the spontaneity was, I have to make sure, and here was the hard thing, when we were doing that back and forth every day, we had to make sure that our videos were up and ready to go live at 8 a.m. so that we can instantly watch each other's video, and then we have to think that fast, how am I going to answer this and then record, because now I have less than 24 hours to get my video out.
Dude, I never could, and I still to this day never could wrap my mind around, am I answering or asking? Wait, I'm doing both.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, in season 2?
Oh, man.
Season 2 was hard on us.
Battle scars from that one. It's like, what happened?
Season 2 was very hard to keep track of, because it was like ask, answer. And it was harder on you than it was on me, because I actually had some days off in there, because I would hear your video, record the video answering yours, and then instantly ask my question, and then go and record mine, get home and edit 2 of them back to back. So then I'm uploading your answer, and then the next day I'm uploading mine.
This may be perfect sense to somebody else, but for my brain, I've already lost you.
Yep. And that was the thing. So it was like, I would have a day off where all I had to do on that day, actually I did nothing, because I just watched mine and I already knew what mine was. And then all I had to do was, like, the following day, watch your answer and do the process all over again. So
I still don't get it.
It
Make
was
videos every day.
Easy. Now, if I could figure out how to get you to understand that so you could make it, that might be a more sustainable model. Because I was good with August, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great. And then we did Vegas, and I'm like, this is great. And I think we teased it like a mini season on top of that, but it was going to be, you and I were planning on meeting up again for like a men's conference. And that started to fall through, so we weren't going to be able to do that. And then when the thought came around, do we want to try to do Vlogmas last year? I think both of us at that point, we were like, no. I know you had a bunch of stuff going on. I had a bunch of stuff over at the marriage ministry. We were getting ready to record their podcast. And so I knew I was going to have like 4 or 5 days that were just completely blocked out. And there was going to be no way I was going to be able get videos up in there. So coming in this year, we didn't do April, but that was pandemic, and I think everybody was figuring out what do we do as far as even doing ministry online. And then
I'm just now getting my bearings because 2020, let's be honest.
right.
So we didn't vlog. Wait, did you vlog Vlogmas
Last
last
year, no.
year? So we didn't vlog Vlogmas.
We went a full year
Vlogmas.
from season 2 to season 3.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Wow.
Season 1 was April of 2019. Season 2 was August of 2019. Season 2.1 was September of 2019.
Dude, I think I burned out hard because
Yeah.
it was right around April, May that I started wanting to make stuff again. Like we were doing live streams and whatnot, and I wanted to start making videos. Whoa.
Yep.
We don't want that to happen.
No, and we definitely don't
speak
want
for
that
you.
to happen. And then the other part that, I think Clint's going to have some appreciation on here, and I know that Trey does because he's done like dailies a few different times for months on end, and they understand that it's also an impact on wife and kids.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that, and church as well. I mean, there's so much that we've got with balancing because we've got all of these different variables, all of our other relationships.
Dude, I thought my
affected
wife
by
was
that.
kidding. At the end of my video where she says, "Thank you guys so much," I'm like, "Oh, okay, she's making a little bit for the video." And then like the second part, that's actually two different clips in
Yeah.
the video. I asked her again, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She says, "No, really. I want to thank them for making this easier, making this season easier on our marriage." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Moving forward." She means it when she's teasing and says, "This is rough. Please come to bed. Please, skip tomorrow." I don't know. Crazy things that would be absolutely absurd in my mind, like skip tomorrow's video. No. There's a video comes out 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's going to happen. I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:59 whenever I hit publish.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that those first two seasons, I did have, the first season especially. Second season, I think there were a couple of them that were all-nighters. And I didn't go to bed. I was editing and editing and editing and editing. And then the other part of my personality, which is bad, is here's Jarrod, and he wants to start incorporating cool things like cloning himself and bringing in G money. And I'm like, how can challenge? What am I going to do? How am I going to one up him if I could possibly do something like that? And it's
And
not
your
even
computer screen starts talking.
yeah. And it's not even like a one-upsmanship so much, but it's that creative push where we're pushing each other to make more and do more like that. And so, woohoo,
Floating coffee hand.
But the that type of push and pull, and that's the hard thing, because then when we're doing a new video every day, like this season was easy because I see yours on Saturday. I don't have time to do it for Sunday, but I can do something for the next Sunday. And then I've got a whole week to come up with it. When we're doing the dailies like we were doing, where you've got less than 24 hours, man, I got less than 24 hours to figure out how to
learn how to shoot
Right.
lightning bolts from our fingers.
Exactly. It's like, how do we do that? Or like I had that season where we were in the hospital and I was trying to clone myself coming out of the elevator. And I'm like,
that was definitely one of those where I'm like, okay.
yeah. And it's like, I've got 24 hours. 24 hours to figure this out. Less than 24 hours. And I'm like, because it's not just, I've got 24 hours and that's the only thing I can focus on. No, like that one in particular, I was at the hospital that day. And so that was a hospital visit. We were there for, 2 hours or something like that. And that hospital is an hour drive from my home. So I watched your video ahead of time. I drive an hour. We spend 2 hours there. We drive back. Well, now I'm down to less than 20 hours and I still had other things to do. And I still got to try to get some sleep, which I don't think I actually slept that day. But it's things like that That's the extra challenge that goes into some of this stuff. And so then we have to sit there and think, okay, well, how are we going to do this when we bring in 7 other pastors and keep the connectivity, to keep that, I don't know. It's like I don't want to say harmony. It's like Clint said, disjointed. Disjointed is about the best way of doing it. My mom popped in and said it did feel a little disjointed. She did watch them all. Maybe like a traveling diner, appetizer at one house, main course at another, dessert
Progressive
another.
Dinner. Yeah.
But one meal. Who does that? I've had some Thanksgivings and Christmases like that, and they're the worst Thanksgivings and Christmases.
I love them. Our church does that for Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of the two. I think it's Christmas. It's a lot of fun when you have people going with you, when you're part of a tribe that's used to the flow of things. If you were showing up as a guest at these different houses, no, thank you.
Yep.
I'm gonna appetizer and duck.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I don't want appetizers. I don't want fillers. I want multiple meals. That's what I want. I'll go one place for one meal and then another for another meal. I'm the type of guy that, hey, if my whole family needs fed, I don't care. If we're out and we're going out to eat, where do you want to eat? I have no problem stopping at 6 different restaurants and making sure everybody gets what they want. That's just me. So in like this type of, I would have no problem bouncing back and forth, but then I do realize that that's me. Not everybody would be up for bouncing back and forth. So what does that look like? What are your thoughts, Jarrod? And while you kind of do this, I'm going to see if I can pull Clinton here. But what did I just do? I just stretched our overlay. Look at that. Look at what I did. Look what you made me do. What did I do with that thing?
I don't know. I feel like I can almost reach across this thing. Is my hand going into the other screen? No. I want it to.
I don't know how to. What happened? What is this magic? I'm perplexed. We're going back to this then. But no. What are your thoughts on possibly doing Vlogmas? Have you thought about that? Have you and Jesse talked about it? Are you willing to share some thoughts and discussions to the interwebs?
Yeah, we've begun negotiations for Vlogmas. I think so. In our relationship, a lot of things are said in jest. So we introduce something, we're talking, we're just kind of, hey, wouldn't that be crazy, kind of a thing. But it's like, no, really, I think maybe we might need to look into this because it's something that we want to do. I really actually do want to do that. So we've kind of been kicking that around a little bit. So I'm not entirely sure whether she knows that I'm a kid yet. Whoa, something's happening. Something new is happening.
Something new is happening.
Okay.
We don't know what new is happening.
I don't know what's new, but I feel the atmosphere shift, baby. No, I don't. What is going on?
We were trying to get Clint in, and I think we have
he
Clint in. Is Clint in with us? Maybe he's in. Okay, so anyways, keep talking.
To wrap up that story. We've started kicking it around. I really want to. I want to put vlog pastors more at the forefront of what I'm doing in life and ministry. I was telling Josh the other day, I'm like, man, if to do vlog pastors and YouTube appropriately at the level that I'm kind of dipping my toe into is going to take a huge commitment on my end. I don't even know that I'm ready for, but a huge commitment on my end.
Hold on. What just happened? I think we lost the Jarrod Brown. Are you there, Clint?
I'm here. Oh, hey. I didn't know I was on.
You are there, but I think I bumped Jarrod out. Let's see if we can add Jarrod back in. We'll see if this works. I have no idea. We're trying new things live. You got to love when we do that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Wow.
okay, Clint, while I got you, and while I'm trying to get Jarrod in here, because apparently I have messed some stuff up, what are your thoughts? How did you like the way that the season went?
I thought it was good. I got in on y'all's conversation a little bit late, but from my perspective, it went well. But if I'm looking at Vlogpasters, I can see how I think it was a little much, to be honest with you. 7 different pastors. It's just tough. I think maybe adding an extra person or 2 in there might have worked a little bit better, but yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed I like the direction. I mean, participating in Vlogpasters versus doing just daily vlogging.
Yeah.
At least I had some direction, some content to work toward, but I guess if I was just watching it from someone else's perspective, it would have been pretty tough.
Yeah. I could definitely see that where here we got all 3 of us now.
Well, we just had a lovely conversation, the 3 of us. I don't know.
Yeah, you were talking in the other chat.
It was beautiful. I mean, you had fun. It's a blast.
Hey, one way or another, this all kind of works out. I will say that there was that moment. I like how Vlogpasters does do that. It gives us the things that we don't have to come up with everything, because you guys understand this. When we're vlogging, it's like I've got to figure out what to talk about today, and I've got to do that every single day. Yeah. That becomes a lot to keep trying to figure out. So when we have somebody else that's feeding us the questions,
totally,
that's what does help. And that was the hard thing, because I mean, could we have done this where each of us pastors, if we did kind of like what season 1, where start off and I ask the question, but this is the question that Dennis has to answer. And then Dennis answers, and then Dennis has to ask a question that then Clint had to answer. And then Clint would answer and ask a question that Ken had to answer. Could that work? Yes. I don't know if that would still, that would require all of us to basically, we've got to edit an entire vlog in 24 hours. Or we could do it in a calendar way where you could give them some advance notice, like submit the question ahead of time.
As long as that person's looking at the calendar correctly.
Here's looking at you, Clint.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we ran into the issue. The issue was going to be some people are going to get softball questions, and then maybe some people get the same questions from the same people if we're in a certain order. And I don't think we ever worked out logistically how to make sure it would be fair. Because what if I was asking Clint all of these like super challenging questions, but then Josh was feeding me or whoever, I think it was Chase who was in front of me. Chase was giving me all these like, hey, what do you do with your family? And I'm like, tell me doctrine. So that it would be near impossible.
Yeah.
Unless we pre-scripted everything out, thus losing the spontaneity.
Yep. It would definitely do that. And honestly, anybody that follows me would have that, because I like the softball questions. And that's me personally. And maybe it's because of pastor, I'm already in the weeds so much with all of these theological conversations, and you run in pastoral circles, and it's like everybody wants to talk about this doctrine and that. And I just want to talk about what your guilty pleasure music is, the thing that you listen to that you are too afraid to admit to somebody. And admit it, Clint. You're a big fan of BTS, aren't you?
BTS.
It's K-pop. I knew you wouldn't have a clue.
Okay. When it comes to pop culture, I am so out of it.
You're not alone. I had no clue.
You guys seriously don't know who BTS. BTS and their latest video, Dynamite, broke the internet. It now is the #1 most viewed music video in 24 hours, which is just It's
What
K-pop.
are they?
It's
I don't
K-pop.
even know what that is.
It's a Korean pop group. There's like 7 of them. They're like the Korean version of the Vlogpasters.
Oh, well, then there we go. There's our answer. Let's just figure out what they're doing and then copy it, right?
Maybe.
So Clint's singing. We know
Yes.
that for sure.
Yep, for sure. Well, hey, Clint and I are both going to. Why? Because we're rocking Shure SM7B microphones.
Oh,
If it was good enough for Michael Jackson, it's good enough for us. All right, Clint, you just did daily. Well, this was your first like daily vlog that you've done, right? Because you did the entire month of August.
Yeah, I attempted it last April, but I only made it about 2 weeks in, and then we had my son
Some
in the
family
hospital,
issues.
so I had to stop. So yeah, but this is my first full month of doing it, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible.
no, tell us how you really feel.
There were days, and you know what? Monday through Friday is great because I have a real structured schedule, so I was able to fit stuff in. But the weekends, Sunday especially, that's when I was throwing stuff in there, and it just felt like filler. It wasn't good. I mean, it was.
Do you feel like you grew?
I did.
You feel like
but
you made the same video over and over and over?
no, I tried to find the story in the little things. I tried to throw humorous little things out there, but I mean, really the most time I spent, and probably because there's a little more pressure because I knew other people outside my channel were going to watch more of the Vlogpaster stuff. So I put more effort into those than I did the other ones. And then I have other ones where it's like, here's my dog, here's my cat, see you later. And it was just to put something out, and that part of it I didn't like because I really want my content to be the best that I can make it anyway and progressively grow. So on that end of it, I felt like it kind of halted my growth in my editing, in my creativity, but the discipline behind it was beneficial. And it did help me. I did it for a few different reasons, but to find direction for my channel, which I still, even after the whole month, I'm still not 100%. I have a little bit more clarity, but I noticed that some videos were watched more than others. So I kind of got a better idea of what my current audience is looking for. And kind of like you were saying, Joshua, I don't love the doctrinal, here's a teaching type thing. And I think it's because Sunday or, throughout the week, I'm always doing that. And if I were to start a separate channel, I think I would keep my current one as a vlog channel with more practical stuff. So, this is what a life as a pastor looks like behind the scenes with my family and that sort of thing. But if you're asking me what does this scripture mean? I don't think my current channel is the place for that. So I did learn that.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, at the end of your vlogist, you said, will I ever do another daily challenge? And it was an astounding no. But
I missed that video. Oh, it's in the queue.
But you also said that doing something like Vlogpasters was a little bit easier when you didn't have to come up with all of the content. So, in a hypothetical situation, if there were like a month long, or maybe
counts. Verbal commitment counts.
Maybe not even a month long, but I don't know, say like a 24, 25 day long
in December
with other pastors where you don't have to come up with all the content. Is that something that is mildly intriguing to you?
That is more intriguing. Then I'm not
speak into the mic directly, make eye contact, and then state your name. We'll be good.
I would be willing to do that for sure. It's more just coming up with stuff. I mean, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm just like, I have had the laziest day today. And I know we got to find a story, and there's a story in that, but is it a story that people want to hear? That's the other question. So, having direction I would definitely do something like that.
So then, Jarrod, I think what we had found with you, Jarrod, was we cut out. You were talking about you and Jess and a possible vlog.
Yeah.
And then Clint and I decided to abandon you and start our own little chat.
Hey, we had a great time. You don't know about it, but we had a great time together.
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Jarrod? What are you guys thinking through? How are the negotiations coming? I think that's where we left off.
Okay, negotiations are going well. I'm not entirely sure. She doesn't think I'm kidding because I had such a rough experience the last couple of times.
Yeah.
And she did too. But I really have the desire to do it. I want to put YouTube and vlog pastors. I think it could be something really special if we went after it whole hog. So I would like to. I just don't know. The caveat is the relationship. My wife has a say. If she says that is too much during Christmas, then I will phone in questions for you guys and get it.
Right.
So, well, it's looking good. I think we can do it. I think we're going to be able to shift around business, we'll side hustle, and church is sustainable where I can put in some time on vlog pastors.
I do think I'm starting a couple different channels and an extra podcast for the church and a lot of stuff that I'm working on, which is definitely a little bit in my mind of, do I really want to do this? And am I going to be able to do this? However, like you said, I think that YouTube period is one of the greatest opportunities that we as Christians have to really point people to Christ. And I think that if we can do it in a non-preachy way, that's not to say we don't preach the gospel. Obviously, we're doing that, but not in a preachy manner where they feel like it's the same thing they've been hearing and seeing from the body of Christ, since modern technology came out. I'm talking if we can start to actually show people what a real, authentic, genuine faith in Christ looks like, and that, guess what? We're human beings that, yes, we love even picking on one another and talking about how we're not asking questions and we're giving commands and how, Clint is the most pious among us and is a perfect man.
Some of us even like K-pop or K-pop or whatever that is.
It's K-pop. I do like K-pop. I like pop, period. I love 80s pop. I think that was the greatest pop, and current pop is starting to take some inspiration from the 80s. Everything old is new again. Wait, did I just say we're old?
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think that there's this great opportunity here on YouTube for all of us and to really reach people. And to show them that being a Christian isn't being stuffy and not having fun and not enjoying life, but it's actually a better way of life, because we can have more fun in different ways that really can bless our whole being, not just, I went and I learned a little something and I know how to recite the books of the Bible. I think there's a great opportunity for us. And I also think that then vlog pastors, where we as pastors are really vlogging and sharing our lives in that way, I think that's an even greater opportunity because it kind of pulls back some of the misconceptions from a lot of pastors. Because I think what the majority of Christians out there see is the names, the big name mega church pastors. And what is it? Something like, 70? I want to say it's like 75% of all churches in the U.S. are under 100 members.
90%.
I think the 90 is under 250, right?
It's way up there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think but it's huge, and that's small church. I think is under 250, and that's like 90. It's crazy, and may even be higher than that. But regardless, I mean, small church pastors are the majority of the pastors out there. And we don't, as small church pastors, don't necessarily have a whole media team that can follow us around and do the social media for us. So we're doing it all on our own. And that's where I think that this is the opportunity for us to really get out there and start to show more people, here's what pastoral ministry really does kind of look like. And here's what the life of a pastor looks like. Yeah. It looks pretty normal. I mean,
well, I think we did a really good job. I didn't realize how good how important the draft was whenever we were looking through some of these guys, because the more hopefully this doesn't go negative. I'm sorry, guys, pull me out if it goes too deep here. But what I'm noticing is our voice, the group of the 7 guys, there's more than that on YouTube, but at least that we know of, needs to be magnified exponentially, because there's a lot of not. We were talking about small church pastors. We need to see behind the scenes. Well, there's a lot of folks who are hopping on and now, making YouTube videos. And some of those YouTube videos are like, God, guy, this is tough. And you're speaking for Christianity as a whole. I would love to see Clint, Chase, Ken, Joshua, somebody like that. Anyway, I just didn't realize how big that draft was and how key it was to get to know these guys on a little bit more of a personal level.
Yeah. And I mean, you and I were talking about this, Jarrod, because you and I know a lot more pastors on YouTube than you do. Right. And because of that, I'm sitting here.
I went exploring. It was rough.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of looking there, and it's like, I'm talking to Jarrod ahead of time, and he's like, I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 guys I can think of. And I'm like, oh, well, I got like 30 or 40 I can think of. And out of that 30 or 40, only about 15 I would even want to pursue because they're making consistent content. And then of that, only about, 2/3 of them, I know enough of their doctrine or their theology and then how they practice their theology that it could fit. And then it was like, okay, well, how do we narrow this down? And then it was trying to figure out
who are good dudes.
Yeah.
Doesn't it always? All right, who's some good dudes in here? Who has good heart?
Yeah, and that was the big thing. I mean, because you and I were talking about that. We wanted people like Clint that has the right heart, the right motivation, and
picked any more real people. I mean, each one of them. I was challenged pretty much every day watching their videos, going, yeah. Like I always cite this one, but Trey's, where he gets done setting up, building up the church, making sure everything's ready to go, and he's like, I got to take 20 minutes and just get away. I'm like, yeah, you do, because it sucks.
And then Clint getting to, what is that? You get to church like 2 hours early?
Yeah.
Man, well, I get to church like a half hour early, and then I'm setting up, and then all of a sudden worship starts, and I'm still running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And then it's like, okay, well, it's time to preach. Hey, guys.
I've done that. And whenever I need my time, I'm the type, if I have to be somewhere, I'll wake up. I got to give myself an hour to wake up. I have a system. And if I don't do my system, it's not good. And I've, especially when we were a mobile church, it was like, oh man, I'm right up until we start church at 9:55. I'm running around like that. And then I just need, kind of like Trey was saying in his, I just need 20 to 30 minutes just to go by myself and just decompress and get my thoughts in order. And I don't have it's not like my message is memorized or any of that stuff, but I go over my notes, my bullet points and that sort of thing, and just get my mind geared toward that. I pray and I just get ready. I cannot, if I don't do that, if I don't have my little system in place, it just doesn't. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to deliver my message in a certain way. And if I don't take that time and just kind of rest before church service, suddenly it becomes more about me in my delivery because I haven't taken that time to just involve God in the process.
Yeah.
So I have to do it that way.
Yeah. And I also think the neat part about this was having all of us with different perspectives and seeing some of how that plays out. I've for the last 5 years studied personality types. And like not even Myers-Briggs, but the basis of Myers-Briggs with the Jungian theory. And so I'm in it and I understand it. And then to see all 7 of us playing out, and while there's some similarities, it's like too often in the world, we want to pigeonhole everybody and say, oh, you're either introverted or you're extroverted. You are this or you are that. Failing to realize this is a big sliding scale. It's this huge spectrum. And then when we can really figure out, understanding that from a biblical concept, that we are all unique and God has created each one of us with unique traits and personalities and giftings and abilities. And then we see, here's 7 of us, lined up for the month. And I think that was a neat thing for me watching it as a viewer, to be able to see the different personalities and how they come through. And, Clint, you and I talked about this, where there was this time where I wasn't quite sure if you even liked me, because you would make these humorous, little
if
jabs.
He's being honest.
But he would make
My wife
these jokes.
says that if people don't know if it's a joke, that means I'm not funny.
Well, but again, spectrums and all of this. And the first couple times I'm like, man, what did I do to upset Clint? And I'm replaying everything I possibly, did I say that? Maybe it was this. And then it was after the second or third, time we're in one of those Zoom chats together, and then you made a joke and I could see the corner of your eye all of a sudden started to smile. And I was like, oh, he's one of those guys. I love their sense of humor because I don't get it. It was
I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. I'm too sarcastic. People don't understand.
I don't think that there's such a thing as too much sarcasm. Although I do have a nephew that does not understand sarcasm at all. At all. Which is in and of itself funny, to be more sarcastic. But no, I mean, seeing your personality, seeing your humor come out as well. Because there were a few different people that, follow my channel, and then they started following you. And they're like, week 1, I wasn't quite sure about Clint, but man, by week 2, yeah, I'm definitely in there.
I'm an acquired taste.
Well, and then Jarrod and I, one of the things that people don't know, Jarrod and I, we were kind of popping in and looking at some analytics and some back end stuff.
Dude, you went hammer down this month. I don't know. I'm sure you know. Down? You watch your channel, but dude.
So, Clint.
Check this out.
I screenshotted everybody's channels and where the subscriber count was before and then after. And I don't know exactly
before you give him the end result, this is obvious. Not just in what the numbers are going to reflect, but in how you approach this month and how you approach Vlogpasters. You, at least to me, in my mind, you were the one who stood out the most, who went after it with everything you had. And it shows, man. You should reap the dividends of this one. Go ahead. Give him the number.
Well, and I think part of that reaping the dividends was just the fact that he went all in. It wasn't just doing Vlogpasters. He was doing Vlogist, and he was doing daily. And you got that much content that people can start consuming, even if it's, some little mundane content. It really does help. And when I was looking at this, and actually in the last couple days, you picked up a couple more subscribers. So from the beginning of August to now, you picked up 45 subscribers.
45. Wow.
Which gives you a 20% increase for the month.
In perspective, I think the rest of us were between 1 and 3. Would that be the average?
Yeah, Dennis had what I took down. Dennis was a 1% increase. Trey was around 1%. You were, who's that? Chase was 2%. I think you got 3, Jarrod, and I think I was at 4. But I blame that extra percentage for me on a stupid Facebook tutorial video that I can't get rid of. That people
Ken was
just
up
keep
there.
Watching. Yeah, Ken got 18% bump as well.
Way up there.
Which
whenever you only have 200 subscribers, the percentage is going to be a little bit higher too.
Well, yes, the percentage would be higher, but even on that, I I think if we talk about overall amount of subscribers,
It's still
Trey and I had more individual subscribers than you did, but you came in on third place. I mean, Trey picked up, like, from my count, and Trey's and mine are a little bit harder because after you get to like the 1,000, then it abbreviates things. But Trey wound up getting somewhere between like 50 and 60 subscribers, and I hit 70 subscribers on that. But the one thing that I've seen in doing a lot of these different collaborations is just because you do a collaboration with somebody doesn't mean they're going to subscribe.
exactly.
They won't do it. If you don't have some value, and I know that from my subscribers, I got a dozen plus private messages from people that said, hey, sorry, I'm not subscribing to any of these guys unless they actually earn the click. And even one that is a real close friend of mine that said she was mad at me because I put in and introduced her to all these other, and she's like, it was bad enough that I was following you and Trey and Jarrod. And she's like, and now I've got to follow Clint.
Yeah.
It was like, so there are, you did a lot right, I think, in the big thing. And here's something for the other vlog pastors out there and for other Christians, other Christian YouTubers. My biggest recommendation is always just be real. Be authentic, be you, because people will see through all of the facade that you try to put on there. And if you're not real, it's not going to work. And you're not going to get the type of base and following that you need if your real mission is to reach people authentically and share Jesus with them. So that's
Totally agree, man. That's what drew me to you in the beginning. The first week right out of the box, you were just like, you were real. You were real. You were making some awesome videos, don't get me wrong, but you were real. And it was like, oh, he's going to do well. We set this up. We structured it to where Dennis, you, and Ken would potentially, if you looked at numbers and that sort of thing, you guys would reap the biggest benefit. But you reap the biggest benefit because I think you pushed as far as anybody into being authentic. And that was noticeable.
Yep. I enjoyed it.
Thanks,
I
guys.
love watching it.
I'm glad I signed on here.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? No.
I do need to watch. I didn't get all of your videos watched. I'm just going to be completely honest. When I look back on it, you didn't either. So unfortunately, I'm on my PC and my Mac here, but my PC says I missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did pretty good.
That's real good.
So, because I've got that
I don't
little
even think
red
my
bar.
wife watched that many.
Yeah, that's all right. My wife doesn't watch that many of my videos unless I force her, which I do every video.
True.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, go watch this. Hey, anyways, this has been a fun month. As far, guys, if you're listening, what does the future for Vlog Pastors hold? We have no idea. Will there be a season 4? I'm sure there will. When will that be? I don't know. I hope it's in December. Who is going to be involved in that? That we also don't know. So there's a lot of unknowns, but the one thing we do know is everybody that contributes to watching and encouraging us through this process, it just makes us want to make more content like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
We appreciate everybody that was watching. Appreciate everybody for being here on the live stream as well. I don't want to eat up too much more time, so I'm going to bid everybody adieu. And until next video, stay blessed, enjoy God's best, have a great day.